Good morning, I'm Dr. Kerry Chant from New South Wales Health with the COVID update for Wednesday the 20th of October. There were 283 locally acquired cases of COVID reported in New South Wales in the 24 hours to 8 p.m. last night, and more than 88,000 COVID tests were reported during that period. It is critical that we have those testing rates as high as possible, and it is regardless of whether you are vaccinated. So whether you've had a single dose, a double dose, or are unvaccinated, please, it is critical to come forward and continue to get tested. Across New South Wales, we've got 92.3% of people aged 16 and over have received their first dose of COVID vaccine, and 81.6% of people were fully vaccinated. And in the 12 to 15-year-old age group, we've got 75.5% have had their first dose, and 38.2% are fully vaccinated. And I'd like to thank everyone for coming forward for vaccination. It's important to protect yourself, your loved ones, and also the broader community. In terms of COVID cases in hospital, we've currently got 552 COVID cases admitted to hospital, with 124 people in intensive care, 66 of whom require ventilation. The vast majority of people who are in intensive care have not been vaccinated, again reinforcing the important role vaccines play in keeping you safe. Sadly, we're announcing the deaths of 7 people, 5 men and 2 women. 1 person was in their 40s, 1 person was in their 50s, 2 people were in their 70s, and 3 people were in their 90s. They come from a range of areas across New South Wales, with 2 people from the Wollongong area, 2 people from Sydney's inner city, 1 person from southwestern Sydney, 1 person was from the Maitland area, and 1 person was from the Albury area. 4 of them were not vaccinated. 1 person had received 1 dose, and 2 people had received 2 doses of the COVID vaccine. And can I extend my sincere condolences to those who have lost loved ones. In terms of New South Wales Health's ongoing sewage surveillance program, we've detected COVID fragments in the sewage in Wagga Wagga, Woolgoolga and Geraldry. And why that's important is because we don't know any cases in those areas. So because of that, it's really important that everyone is particularly vigilant and comes out and get tested. Finally, I'd like to thank you for your outstanding efforts in getting vaccinated, following the health advice, and importantly, for continuing to come out and get tested. As we transition to living with COVID, it's going to be important we sustain those high testing rates. As I said, the testing recommendations apply to those that are vaccinated and those that are not vaccinated. So please continue to come forward and get tested. Please continue to get vaccinated. We can be the most vaccinated country in the world. We always achieve very high rates of childhood vaccination in excess of 95%, and I'm really confident that if we all work together, we can get there at 95% double dose coverage, and that will make us one of the most vaccinated countries in the world. Also, a special call out to the parents of 12 to 15-year-olds. It's great that we've got 3/4 have had their first dose, but let's get that to 95% as well. And as schools go back, we would like to keep our schools as safe as possible. So by having those 12 to 15-year-olds double vaccinated, that will really reduce any risk of transmission and keep our high schools as safe as possible. I'd also like to thank you for maintaining those COVID safe practices. Make sure you're not going out and about when you're unwell. Please get tested and stay home till you've got a negative test result. Please maintain that mask wearing indoors where it's required. Please also just be cautious when you're out and about with that physical distancing. Those small behaviour changes can really reduce the risk of transmission of COVID, and it's important we keep the numbers as low as possible as we continue to drive that vaccine coverage as high as possible. We all have a role in protecting ourselves, our loved ones, and the broader community, and these actions can save lives. Thank you.